It's crazy because as a Jamaican, as an immigrant, seeing that money in my account, I've never seen that amount of money before. I started like calculating what is this in JMD, and I was like, I was like, your girl, I'm like, my partner, we're like, we are rich, but we're like, nope, let's get another one. We're like, come on, let's go buy another house. If we can make that much money from one house,
Yeah.
go buy another house.
It's definitely addicting. Okay, so I do have a question. So
Yeah.
you were in the Martha Vineyards area, then you moved to Florida. How did we decide to buy a house all the way in Tennessee?
So we wanted to buy in Florida, but the money and our background, just by talking to people as well, we realized that we needed a whole lot more money because we thought we needed like $30,000. That time to buy a house in Florida, which it still is, you're looking at about 30,000, 300,000, 400,000, and at that time we thought that we would still need 20-25% down. So I was talking to another investor, which I met from Bigger Pockets, was talking to that investor, and they're like, hey, why don't you look in the Midwest? And I was like, the Midwest, what's in for me? I don't know what's the Midwest. So I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, look into these states: Memphis, Kansas City, Ohio, Detroit, Philadelphia. She's like, with the budget that you have, you can get a cheaper house for that and it will cash flow. Because we told her what we wanted to do. And we did that. But for us too, it was still overwhelming because we don't know anything about those states. So we went on like Bigger Pockets, did research. We went on Google to do research on the area. And then I had like a whole scrapbook, guys. A whole scrapbook on each state. I'm like, tell me everything that I need to know about these states. And then I would talk to different investors who are invested in those different states just to find out, why are you investing here? What strategy, what zip code should I focus on? How much money do I need? Do you have any recommendations for agents? Like I was doing all that stuff. And then we landed on, I think it took maybe a year of research, and we decided to invest in Memphis. And then from there, we're like, okay, it's no turning back. Get out of analysis paralysis. It's time to dive in. And we
Wow.
went straight into this.
Wow.
One thing that I love about you, Kalisha, and I hope that our audience is able to understand this, is that from the moment that you left, even before you left Jamaica, but when you touched down here in the United States, like it was all about taking action. Even if you didn't have everything figured out, even if you didn't know exactly what you wanted to do, like you just started taking action. And so I want you to kind of talk about, what sort of mindset do you need to be in to go into a space where you don't really know much, to be around people who you really don't know, and to just immerse yourself in this and be bold enough to ask questions? Like, where does your mindset have to be at in order to get there?
I would say really like there's no plan B. You have to have that thinking in your head, like, okay, I'm here. I don't have a backup plan. I gotta take care of me. I gotta take care of family, whoever it is that you guys have, right? And I think when I got here, I'm like, I don't have a backup plan. If I gotta go bust tables or clean toilets, you're gonna have to do that because there's no other way for you to get some money.
Right.
And you're in a city that no one knows you, so no one cares. You don't care what anyone's gonna think back home because you're like, hey, I just gotta make this money, right?
Yeah.
So you just gotta do what you gotta do. And I always hear this quote, and I live by it. It from ET, and he says, "Why do we always have to wait until we hit rock bottom to go 110%?"
Woo.
That's real. That's
That
real.
is so
And it's
real.
true. Like when you're comfortable, when you have a backup plan, you're like, But when you don't have a backup plan, it's with all of us. We give 110% because we're like, we gotta figure this out.
Yeah, there's nothing else.
There's nothing else. So I think most times a lot of persons, you won't give 100%. You will not, unless you realize like deep down you don't have a backup plan. If you realize that you're in a negative for your bank account, your credit cards, you don't have a place to sleep, you're gonna be evicted. When you realize all odds are against you, that's when you kind of
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kalisha,